I don't reckon we mess about. I reckon we get straight into it. Welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast and welcome to another match reaction. 9 goals in one game. Oxford saw 7. That's not a typo. That's not me getting that wrong. We scored 7 goals in a League One game. That's 9 goals in one game. That's 10 goals for Oxford United in 2 games. Some not bad stats to have there. Oxford United absolutely run riot at Gillingham. And let's say we've got so much to talk about, but let's start with what we can see. I mean, what we can see here is a massive scoreline, and what I watched today was an absolutely brilliant Oxford United performance. Yet, be it not a great, not against a fantastic Gillingham side, but still, Oxford United had to be not at their best, for sure, but they had to be on it today because it had a banana skin written all over it. A side without a manager, not in great form, not having a good season at all. But again, you don't know how things can go. They can either go on fantastic runs or they can just continue to crumble. Unfortunately for Gillingham, it looks like it's going to be the latter because today they had an absolute nightmare. Oxford United scored 7 goals past Gillingham today. We're going to be looking at the tactics board. We're going to be hearing your thoughts in the live chat. I want to hear from you. We scored 7 goals in League One. It doesn't happen every single weekend. So let's make the most. Let's celebrate it while we can because, like I said, it's not a normal thing, scoring 7 goals in League One. So let's make the most of it. We have got so many chats already. Ladies and gentlemen, get in here right now. We're going to be breaking the game down tactically. But I don't think we need to go into the tactics straight away because looking at tactics is one thing. Looking at the scoreline is another. There were some unbelievable performances today, but most importantly, I love doing these live streams for one reason and one reason only. I like to interact with you. I like to hear what you've got to say. Jonathan kicks off, said, "What on earth was that?" I can tell you, Jonathan, it was an absolutely brilliant performance, but most importantly, a fantastic scoreline for Oxford United. 7 goals. What an afternoon. Jonathan says, "Brannagan, we will come on to the penalties. We're going to have to come on to the penalties. 4 of those 7 goals were penalties. We still would have won the game 3-2 if the penalties hadn't have been given. Some a little bit more questionable than others. Some are absolutely blatant, but I'm sure we'll come on to those penalties in just a second. We will not miss that. Alex, I know, of course, is our Bolton representative of the Young Fan Podcast fan base. I don't think we can get that far yet, but I know he is a Bolton Wanderers fan. They win 6-0 this afternoon. What happened in League One? Beating Sunderland 6-0. Bolton Wanderers on an absolute similar to Oxford, absolutely running riot at the University of Bolton Stadium. Of course, we'll be doing our roundup, as we always like to do on Sunday, so watch out for tomorrow. We've got some unbelievable games to break down and talk about tomorrow. Some absolutely unbelievable games of League One action. Don't miss that video if you want to be part of that. You don't want to miss it. Of course, we don't just do Oxford United stuff. We do lots of things surrounding League One. We've got some really exciting episodes of the podcast coming your way. Been quite busy this week doing lots of other things, but we've got the transfer window, of course, deadline day on Monday. We've got lots of exciting stuff, some amazing games of football today, so don't miss that. Alex, I'm sure, will be tuning into that one, watching and hearing what I've got to say about an unbelievable win against Sunderland. Jonathan says, "Goodbye to Sunderland's goal difference. Goodbye to Wycombe's automatic promotion dream, and hello to Oxford." Unbelievable stuff across the games. Like I said, it's not just Oxford United today absolutely being unbelievable. So many other incredible scorelines. Wycombe lose as well today. I don't know whether automatic promotion dreams can be cut short completely, but it certainly did not help at all. Elijah says, "Can we not talk about it, lads?" I had to reply, "Sorry, Elijah, we might have to talk about this one." I think if we can talk about every game, and if we do talk about every game in Oxford United season on the podcast, I think this will be a little bit of a silly one to miss out. I apologise, Elijah, in advance. We'll be breaking down your team's absolute disaster this afternoon. I apologise. Alfie, best player you've ever seen live? Do you mean Oxford United in League One? I've watched a few England games in my time and seen some really, really good players represent their national team. If you mean League One, though, who was the best player I've seen live? I'll have to come back to that. That's quite a difficult one off the top of my head, but very good question. Elijah says, "Our goalie." No, he wasn't great, was he? He wasn't great, your poor goalie. He had to pick the ball up the net 7 times this afternoon. Some questionable decisions as well from him. And I'm sure we'll have to come on to him as well. Don't you worry about that. Matthew Bell, of course Matthew Bell's in here. He says, well, that was exciting. Matthew, it certainly was. Elijah, that was embarrassing. Matthew says, "Will you be doing a deadline day stream?" Matthew, I've got something a little bit different. I might still do the deadline day stream. But at the moment, I'm sort of putting together a video basically where I talk about Oxford United's transfer news as it happens, and then put it all together. So it's like a timeline of Oxford United's run into deadline day, talking about the ins and outs, giving my thoughts on the recent transfer news. Of course, Adji was sold yesterday. Marcus Brown linked to the football club. Putting that all together, and that'll be coming out as a video hopefully on Tuesday, so the day after the deadline day sort of slams shut. But if you still want to see a deadline day stream, that is something I can maybe do surrounding the whole of League One. If there's anything that really could be interesting. So a really good idea, Matthew. I did think about it, but I've got a specific Oxford one coming to the channel. Don't worry about that. Anyway, hope that answers your question, Matthew, and hopefully you've got your thoughts read out if you did leave a thought. And remember, you can be like those sort of people, giving their thoughts in the live chat. Remember, leave a like and subscribe. Please do that. We're on the road to 700 subscribers. Like I said, so much League One content coming your way. These sort of games don't come around all too often, so please be part of the journey. Hit that subscribe button and leave a like. Gillingham fans, we've got Elijah in here. If you've got some more thoughts on that game from a Gillingham perspective, remember that you can watch this as a video as well. Give your thoughts in the comments down below. But yeah, from an Oxford perspective, let's not go too over the top. It was a fantastic win today, and it's easy not. It's quite difficult not to go over the top. We did score 7 goals, but we've got to remember, Gillingham weren't that great. Gillingham really don't look like a good side, and there's lots of different reasons why that is. I think they're really struggling, or they were struggling anyway when Steve Evans was in charge. Sacking him, we talk about what happened at Charlton when they sold their manager Adkins, and then Johnny Jackson came in, saw a fantastic sort of rebirth in the way that they played under him, and obviously he went on to get the permanent job, and he did a fantastic job. You can sometimes see a real bounce in in football teams, but Oxford didn't allow Gillingham to do that this afternoon, and I know Steve Evans has been sacked for probably, 2 games now? It doesn't really look like we're seeing this bounce at Gillingham, and I think if the caretaker manager's looking to get the actual job, I don't think that interview tomorrow morning could be quite an interesting one, because considering 7 goals at home could be a difficult one to come back from, and it's going to be really difficult. So I think from a Gillingham perspective, yes, there's so many different ways you can break the game down. From an Oxford perspective, we weren't playing against a very good Gillingham side at all, but we were very good nonetheless. I don't think you can say we won 7-2 and we didn't play well. Of course, that's not what I'm saying. We played very well, but let's just make sure we break down and look at exactly the game from face value more than anything. We won the game 7-2 because we were good, but also, I would say very good, excellent. We were excellent, but Gillingham were very bad and allowed Oxford to play exactly the way that we wanted to play. And this is a proven example that if you allow Oxford United to play how they can play at their best, you will get you'll get destroyed and you'll get opened up in so many different ways, and you'll struggle for the whole game. Now, and also something I really want to talk about as well is actually, and we'll come on to the stats as well, because I think the stats are really interesting in this game. They were actually patched in this game where Gillingham were on top, and you're like, how can Gillingham be on top in a game they've lost 7-2? And I know we've got so many chats going for, and don't you worry, I'll be catching up with them in just a second. In fact, I'll come and do that now. Mary says, so that sounds class, mate. Hopefully you're going to enjoy that. It should be coming out on Tuesday, the stream. Sam says, love it, up the Oxford. Certainly, what a win it was for us. Our goalie needs to get back to Watford. He is on loan from Watford. Is it Dahlberg? Is that his name? I think that was the goalkeeper that was at Doncaster. Yeah, we didn't have a great game today. 4 penalties against him. I know we can't blame too much about penalties. 4 penalties, no saves, which it sounds like a harsh thing to say, but the same penalty taker, took 4 penalties today, 4 different penalties, and scored every single one of them. And one of those he actually gave away himself. So not a good result for the goalkeeper at all either. Sanya Super says Robbie McKenzie for Gillingham. I believe that is that not in English? I'm so sorry. I apologise for that. I don't know what that language is, and I can't speak it or read it clearly. But Robin McKenzie, I believe, is a player for Gillingham, if I'm not wrong. I don't know what that says. I'm really sorry, mate. Unfortunately, I can only speak English, which is something that so I do apologise for that. Matthew Bass says, one of those games you have to just beat who's in front of you, and we did that. Tom says, he's given us 2 love hearts, yellow and blue, very simple in what he's trying to say. Elijah says, yes, your goalkeeper. Talk about your goalkeeper. No, yeah, it wasn't a good game at all. Look, if we look at it from face value for Gillingham, it's a really worrying game. And the repercussions for Gillingham now are going to be really interesting. They need to go and find a manager. They need to go and bring someone through the door, because if they continue the way they're going to go, and if they've got this hope that they've still got of staying in the league, and again, we'll look at the league table in just a second, they need to go and appoint someone quickly, because that team looks absolutely all over the shop. They look disorganised. They look like the heads are going to drop after going 1-0 down. It was so easy for Oxford today. We talk about when, how do you approach a game where, how do you deal with going 1-0 up? Teams can deal with it in so many different ways. Do you, and even going 2-0 up, it's about not allowing complacency to creep in. But Gillingham allowed us to go 1-0 up and then just go, can we be bothered? Is there a way? But it's 2. And then it's like, we could get back one, but we've got to score 3 to win, and we haven't scored many goals this season, so can we be... and it's 3, and then we've got... You know what I mean? So it's one of those where it was so easy for the heads to drop. So how does a side like Gillingham come into a game against Oxford today, be 2-0 down, and I think it was 3-0 down, after 20 minutes, and then be able to react and have that confidence, because they have nothing to bounce off of. They have no confidence to bounce and get any sort of momentum into a game. And yes, they had patches in the game, and yes, they had moments in the game where they were dominant, but they never and they scored 2 goals, to be fair to them. But looking at it from another way, of another Gillingham perspective, is even when they had that really dominant patch, even that really dominant spat. I mean, the 2 goals they scored, they weren't great goals. They were goals, but they were Oxford errors, really, more than anything. Oxford silly mistakes. The first one was Seddon getting the wrong side of his defender, and him just going past these two and tapping it into an open net. That's not defensively solid at all. And Seddon, again, I think today, even though we won 7-2, I think Seddon is struggling slightly. Recently, when it comes to form, he's definitely getting exposed defensively more than we want him to be. And we look at that second goal, it's a ball into the penalty area. Initially, a really good save from Jack Stevens, and then it's a rebound. So again, their goals didn't come from unbelievable footballing prowess. It literally came from Oxford United, having mistakes, and then I guess scoring 2 goals against them. Which again, you've got to score the goals that are in front of you, and you've got to take the chances you get, whether they're good or not, or whether they're defensive errors or not. But ultimately, even their goals, and what I'm trying to say is, even their goals came from silly mistakes from Oxford perspectives. So it doesn't look like there wasn't moments in the game where I thought, that's a part of Gillingham's game where if they can build on that, they've got a chance. No part of the Gillingham performance today suggested they're a team that won't get relegated, even though they had patches where they were a little bit, they were all over Oxford at times in that second half, between probably the 60th minute and the 80th minute. But even in that sort of 20-minute spell, they never looked like they were going to, threaten any comeback. But then, to be fair to them, they were losing 5-0 at the time, 5-1 at the time. So it's not easy. And what Oxford had to do was make sure that complacency didn't kick in. Maybe not at 5-1, but certainly at 3-0. You've got to make sure you don't let complacency kick in. And for, I guess, the second half, after we were 3-0 up, the game did sort of naturally die down. But that's what you've got to expect in these sort of games. You can't go 3-0 up in 20 minutes and expect you're going to be, that naturally means you're going to continue the exact same momentum. The game speed is going to have to slow down, because players, especially when they're winning 3-0, naturally, you're not going to press for every ball. Naturally, you're not going to, try and unlock the opposition's door every single time when you're 3-0 up, because you need to, I guess, manage the game in the right way possible. Don't risk anything. Don't do anything silly when you're 3-0 up in a game. Make sure you be complacent. Make sure you don't let complacency come in, And also, what I would say with Oxford United is, I think our best form of defence is attack anyway. So don't go 2 or 3-0 up and then sit back and expect that, drop any deeper, or try and play a low block, or try and play this sort of low defensive line and hope that because you're 3-0 up, you can get away with it, because we've seen so many times of Oxford United, maybe not a 3-0 down, but we've seen it. I mean, the recent game that comes straight to mind is Bristol Rovers in the FA Cup. We were winning that game, that away game, and then we tried to play defensive. We tried to sit back a little bit, and they got a really, really good comeback, because we sort of allowed them to go at us. And defensively, we're not that sort of team just yet, especially losing John Thornley and Rami McNally, who I thought did have a good game today. We're not at that sort of level, and we've proven this season or maybe we're not at this level yet, but I certainly think we've proven that Oxford United are better off when they're winning these sort of games to not try and sit back and try and defend the lead. And I think our best form of defence is attack. Go at teams, cause problems, because again today we showed so many different aspects of an attacking side. We showed a counter-attacking side today. We showed a side that can play really, really good when having the ball. We can create chances on the ball. We can be, I think our chance creation and ball retention today was really, really impressive. Now, like I said, that does come down to Gillingham not being very good at all. But at the same time, we showed different aspects of our game today, and aspects I think we've seen glimpses across a season. Today, we saw all of them in one. The counter-attacking today was so important, especially early on in the game. I mean, their first chance really was actually a Gillingham chance. And if that goal had gone in, what would it have been 7-2? I don't know. Would it have been 7-3? No one will ever know, and that's hindsight for you, isn't it? But ultimately, however you look at it, they had the first big chance of the game. We were very good on the counter-attack. The pace that we've got on the counter-attack is so threatening and can cause so many different problems. Sykes today didn't have his best game, but ultimately was really good at doing different things. Not maybe scoring a goal. Maybe not. I think he did get an assist in the game, but maybe it's not, putting a beautiful ball into the penalty area and crossing a beautiful ball in and getting that sort of amazing assist that everyone talks about for 3 to 4 weeks, the next month or so. It wasn't that sort of game. It wasn't a game where we go, Marcus Brown was our man of the match. It wasn't. Sorry, Marcus Brown. What am I talking about? Marcus Brown is hopefully going to Oxford. Mark Sykes is going to score. And that was a man of the match performance. It's not one of those games. It was one of those games where every single player I thought did really well today. And I think that's what I mean. Players didn't have to be unbelievably at their best and then but not do very well. That's what I'm trying to say. I think every single player did really quite play to a really high standard. I think together and as a unit today, I thought Oxford United was so good. And like I said, it'd be difficult to not play as a unit and win 7-2. So I think that was really impressive. Juan Max says, loving the viz lately, mate. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much for the support and watching. Sam says, Wigan on Tuesday, it's going to be tough. We can't get distracted by this win. Elijah comes back in and says, last time we conceded 7 goals was in 1983. That's 89 years ago. I'm sorry, Elijah, but we've had to ruin that record for you this afternoon as Oxford United Football Club. I do apologise. It's a very good stat to have though, but not so much anymore. You're about to hit that 90-year mark, and Oxford United came in and absolutely destroyed you. And go back to Sam's point as well. I think you're absolutely spot on, Sam. I think it's one of those games where we sit here now and we're very impressed by it, and we can be very complimentary, and so they deserve the play. Every single player deserves to have the credit put on their name today. They were absolutely phenomenal. But I think you're spot on. Let's not get. Yeah, we've got to continue on this run. We've got to use this game and go, this was an absolutely brilliant game of football. How are we now going to take that into Wigan? Because Wigan's going to be an absolutely different test completely. We're going to have a different kettle of fish. So we've got to then go into the next game, and we've got to play against a side that are going to be obviously 10 times better than Gillingham and much better than this side today. And can we take aspects of this performance into the next one? We've got to be very careful we don't fall into the AFC Wimbledon trap we had, where we played an unbelievable football against AFC Wimbledon and gone, why can't we play that on Saturday? We play that on Saturday and we don't play very well at all. And everyone goes, yeah, why weren't we as good? But it's because of the opposition. That's why. AFC Wimbledon allowed Oxford United to play the way they wanted to play. We beat them 3-0. We went into a game on Saturday, I believe it was the Cheltenham game. We didn't play well at all, really. We drew the game 1-1. Everyone went, oh, that's a bit of a different performance than one on Tuesday. Yeah, the reason for that is because Cheltenham and AFC Wimbledon play completely different. I can tell you for a fact, I don't need to be a very good football analyst at all to tell you that I think Gillingham might play slightly different to Wigan. I think Wigan might play a little bit better than Gillingham on Tuesday night. So I think we've got to be very careful when we take this performance into the next one. Sam Long impressed me today. Yeah, Sam Long looked very good, mate. Right, on that note, Sam, I think we'll switch over now to the tactics board. No, we won't. Yeah, we will. We'll switch over to the tactics board. I've got a few things I want to show you. Not loads today, really, but there's some certain things I think we need to show. Let's go over to this screen here. Here we go. Let's go over to this one here. So this is the first half. Yeah, this is the first half, and I'm going to show you sort of really what happened, especially when it comes to counter-attacking goals. And I also want to show you something really interesting, which is the average positions, which is quite annoying actually because I can't get it on the screen. But what I can do is form them from what I can see here, and I'm going to try and create the average positions and show you something really interesting. Now, I think the Gillingham average positions is going to show you one thing. Now, this is a first half performance, and in simple terms, the first goal came from Sykes in this area here. By the way, that Billy Bodin goal was absolutely phenomenal today. Holland was playing a lot more narrow, as we'll come on to those positions in just a second. But you can see here, Sykes got all the room, and he was brilliant today. Although it wasn't an unbelievable man of the match Mark Sykes performance, he did so well in different scenarios and we saw a different side of Mark Sykes today, but one that was really impressive. And we saw Sykes in this area driving here and a beautiful pass inside. Not an easy pass either, because remember, you've got defenders tracking back. Not an easy pass at all. Billy Bodin's in this area here. Really good position. Playing in that number 10 role. You got an opportunity today. Fantastic performance against Sheffield Wednesday. Still in the side, getting another start. I thought Billy Bodin was really, really good. And we talk about people like Marcus Brown coming to the football club. I mean, Billy Bodin deserves to continue where he is playing at the moment. Now, I don't think Billy Bodin, like I said, similar... No, I'm not going to say that. But I think Billy Bodin is similar to a few players where, they're maybe not the long-term answer. They're maybe not the best player in that position. But what you can't doubt today is Billy Bodin's work rate. Most importantly, that first goal is brilliant. And also, he's just taking opportunities when he's given them. Carl Robinson has given him an opportunity. Carl Robinson has said, look, you've got an opportunity today. And he said the same last week. To prove to me, yes, you haven't been given the amount of game time you probably would have wanted. Prove to me why you should get the game time. Prove to me why you should be playing. And I think we're seeing a Billy Bodin now that's playing with confidence, playing with no fear, and fitting a system so well. So impressed with Billy Bodin today. And that first goal came from a brilliant counter-attack from Mark Sykes. I thought on the ball today, Mark Sykes was brilliant. Found a beautiful ball. Absolutely cut Tucker out of the game with the first pass. Straight into Billy Bodin's feet. A beautiful touch, by the way, to miss his defender, because there's another defender coming in. Beautiful touch to see him, and almost like a fake shot, if you like, and then a beautiful finish into the bottom left-hand corner. And like I said, that's the quality that Billy Bodin can make. That's the quality that we know Billy Bodin can do. Can he do it on a consistent basis is something that I think a lot of Oxford United fans are going to be hoping and wanting to see more of the season. He's going to have to be continuing to see, I think, opportunities for that to happen, but so impressed with Billy Bodin this afternoon. So I want to also talk about actually the average positions. Let's create this average position, starting off with Gillingham. So this is going to be Gillingham here. Now, we've got a position here, and then actually, interestingly, the other defender is much higher. So at the moment, we're seeing straight away, we've got a much deeper defensive centre-back and a much higher centre-back as well. So we've almost got a sort of a covering centre-back, and I think a more of a defending, more of a stopping centre-back, if you like, in here. But it's this role here. So we've got a number 10 who is this lad here playing in this position. We've then got a 4 very close to him. And already you can see what we're trying to craft. We're crafting a side here that is very, very narrow. We're seeing a side here and there's a number 8. So number 24 come in like this. And this is concerning. This is really concerning. Look at this. We've got the 3. So in this position here. And this. That's basically the average positions. And then just to sort of completely confuse everyone, we've got winger here, fullback here, and fullback here. That's the average positions today. Roughly, they were the average positions for the game today. Now, that's a problem in so many different ways, and I can explain it. I'll try and explain it. I mean, it's very self-explanatory, the issues you've got here. You've got a front 3 that are so on top of each other. The way that this side of play, and actually, it's a bit deeper than that. It's more that. You can see here, I mean, 24 and 17 are meant to be the wingers in this system. And they're almost playing as midfielders. And the area here, let's cross this off, and I want to show you how much of an issue, when you're trying to create chances, this is. Now, what is that for a system? I can tell you what it is. That's a really, really concerning point from a tactical perspective. If you've got your attacking players, your influential offensive players in that sort of position, and this is an average position, that is a real concern. Where is the outlet in there? And the reason why the reason why Gillingham played like this and had to play like this for so much of the game, and again, we'll create the Oxford United average positions in just a second, but that is a real concern. You've got your 4 players here. Very, and the only width is coming from your number 2 and your number 14. So your fullback to prevent creating your only width, which is okay on its own, and that can be fine. A lot of teams play with their only fullbacks, so their only width coming from fullbacks. But the issue is, where is that attacking out? I mean, their number 2, their fullback was on average the second highest player offensively than any other player in that side, bar the number 17, so they're the other winger. So your fullback in this game was the highest player offensively, the closest player to the goal on average, other than one other attacker. And that is a real concern. You can see there Oxford United, who played so much and had so much of the ball, squeeze the living life out of Gillingham today and force them to play this really worrying, narrow tactical style that just didn't allow them to create anything. It didn't allow them to do much at all in the game. And it'll make a little bit more sense in just a second when I switch over to Oxford United. And teams that, again, play a lot of the ball and have a lot of the ball tend to have a much more structured system. An example of what a non-structured system looks like, there's one just there. That is a non-structured system. There is no. If you try and tell me what formation that is, that looks to me like a. I mean, the number 5 there. I wish I could show you what exactly it looks like on here, but it literally is like the number 5's playing sort of an only man, which is okay, but it's a real concern. He's sort of playing it. It could be, I guess, it's a 4. I don't know. What formation is that? And that, for me, is so much a concern when you talk about a structured system. How are you going to create things in that system? You'll never know. Again, that's forced upon by Oxford United's way they played. And I'll come on to that in just a second. Keep giving your thoughts in the chat as well. I really am intrigued to see what you've got to say. But I think, for me, that's a real concern. I want to switch over to the Oxford United system as well. And like I said, a lot of teams that have the ball have a much more structured system. So let's get rid of this here. Can we get rid of this circle? We need to get off the circle first. That would be good. Can we get rid of it? Or are we going to lose everything? Ideally not. I don't know. Are we going to get rid of everything? Are we going to be allowed to get rid of everything? Or are we going to have to deal with it being here for the rest of the stream? I don't know. I don't know what we're going to have to do. Right, we're going to just pretend that isn't there. For some reason, that's not playing. Let's switch over to the Oxford United positions then. So, the average position sees Matty Taylor playing here, and really close behind him, Billy Bodin. And they formed a really good partnership today. Two players very close to each other. Like I said, I've contradicted myself slightly there because a lot of players are playing close to each other here. But the difference comes in those other areas. It's okay to be close to each other in that area when you've got Nathan Holland playing in this position here, providing there. Starts playing a little bit deeper. And just like that, you can see that's what an attacking outlet's meant to look like there. That, again, is a forward front line, a very simple, very also, I think, structured front four that you can clearly see what they're trying to do. And you can see there straight away, that's what an attacking four should look like, not that. That attacking four is a real concern, but that four is much better. Now, we had Marcus Brannagan actually playing on the other side to Brannagan, so that's my mistake. And Brannagan's playing a little bit deeper, more in this role, really, because we played with 2 holding midfielders today. We played with McGuane and Cameron Brannagan. And we saw Marcus Brannagan play in this role here, almost a Mazzala role, an Italian position, prominently, but again, being used much more now in the modern game. A sort of a role where it allows them to sort of, I guess, drive into areas more out wide, but essentially it's starting base, really. And then we saw here a back four, where we like to say play a fairly high line. We saw that. But when we talk about players here, Seddon was just in here. And not as high as he usually is, actually. So I think maybe something might have been said there about him not being exposed as much defensively. That, interestingly, probably... And I think that also comes down to the fact that he was forced to play a little bit deeper because of how high he was and how high their fullback was, the number 2. We spoke about a minute ago how high that fullback was and how the attacking outlet for Gillingham when it comes to playing with wide players only actually came from their fullback. The reason why Seddon couldn't play up here was because that was their only attacking outlet through that wide area. So Seddon was forced to be pinned back slightly, and it had to stop that number 2 from having any sort of go offensively. Talk about Sam Long, interestingly, higher than Seddon on average. And again, that's something that's very different. Normally, it's the other way around. Normally, Long's much more defensive in that right back position, and Seddon's that real go-foring, I guess attacking, more offensive, sometimes risky fullback that likes to play on that sort of left-hand side. And you almost sort of see an elbow tactic here, where you got this formation, one much more defensive fullback, one more attacking fullback, like an elbow shaped here. Beautiful. Beautifully created. But it wasn't really like that today, really. Actually, both fullbacks similarly high up in average, but Long just a little bit higher. And again, we speak about the width coming in those areas. I think you can see here, much more structured. And you can see that is on average the formation. Maybe a little bit tight there, maybe a little bit there. We're being really picky. Other than that, that's what it looks like. Now, you see those two sides there. You can see a much more structured system. You can see a very clear back line. Here, you can't see a clear back line. Your back line very clear there, the 4. In fact, I think we can can we be can we be quite interesting? Can we be quite interesting? You can see a back 4 here. That's your back four, pretty much, in there. And you can split the pitch very, very clearly into the segments. You've got your defensive line here, maybe a little bit higher up. Let's go there. You've got your defensive third. No, we can't really because you've got that there. You can sort of see, if long as a little bit deeper, you can see a very, very clear defensive line there. You can see a very, very easy line there in terms of your midfielders. And you can see a very, very clear attacking structure here. They're your three segments of the game. Your defensive segment, your midfield segment, your attacking segment. You could even be a little bit more picky, go with one there, and have your centre forward segment if you really wanted to. So you've got your sort of attacking midfielder slash fullback, slash winger, your striker, your midfielder, you're a bit more attacking fullback if you like, but still very structured defence. With Gillingham, you cannot do that because you've got, where's your structured back four there? You've got very, very high fullbacks, but then defenders much deeper. When we talk about trying to play a strong back four, that's the difference there. Look at the side. Look at the difference in distance between 5 and 2. Their fullback and their wide player absolutely miles away from each other. No structure when it comes defensively. Midfield absolutely all over the shot. They've got players absolutely on top of each other almost. And when it comes to the attacking phase of play, you can see very clearly with that bubble I've put over them players there, you can clearly see they have not got a clue how they're going to attack. And that again comes, it's very, very, we'll look at the possession stats as well just here. That comes quite usual. When you play against a side that don't have a lot of the ball and against a side that have a lot of the ball, the side that has the ball, as you can imagine, will be much more structured because they have much more of that ball. For Gillingham, though, let's have a look at the possession stats. I'm intrigued to see what they are. Yeah, you can see 60% possession to Oxford. And you can see that. You can see a team had 60% of possession of the football, and you can see how structured they're allowed to be. For Gillingham, they had 40% of the football. So creating a structure on 40% is so, so difficult. Talk about shots, not a million miles away from each other. And that comes down to that attacking momentum graph. You can see in that second half, you can see there was a real spell in that game where Gillingham were on top. They got a goal in that spell. They got a goal sort of in that little more spike of that second half. You can see in between all that, Oxford United just given penalties, and we will talk about the penalties in just a second. I think 2 was Stonewall penalties. I have to remember them now. The first one was a Stonewall penalty. The second one was the goalkeeper coming out. No, was that in the second half? I've completely forgotten the penalties now. Yeah, no, the second one was the goalkeeper one. Yeah, the second one was the goalkeeper. That was a penalty, I think, as well. The third one was a little bit suspect. Went down a little bit easy, but I think you've definitely got a case to be a foul. And the last one, I think, was a Stonewall handball. So, I think all 4 of them, I think it'd be a little bit, I don't think it'd be too controversial for me to say I think all 4 of them were penalties. But again, you'll be interested to see what you've got to say. Alex McDonald was assistant coach something today, wasn't he? I don't know, Matthew. I don't know. I didn't see, I saw he wasn't playing. So, that probably was a bit of a loss for them. If Bodin and Matty Taylor established that connection they had at Bristol Rovers, they could really be dangerous. Exactly, Matthew. I think we saw that today. We saw a really, really good relationship between Bodin and Taylor. And I thought very, very clear with what we wanted to try and do in that attacking third. Very, very clear what we wanted to do in that midfield third. And very, very clear what we wanted to do in that defensive third. And if you can be very, very clear when it comes to clarity of message in all of those areas, you're going to be successful and you've got a really good chance of winning this sort of football match. You play against this sort of structure, which is players absolutely all over the shop. It's literally like I've just gone, yeah, and we'll have one there and one there. So random. What is going on here? That's not what I tried to create. I don't know. There we go. Then that's why things can go so horribly wrong, because you've got no structure in what you're trying to play. Very, very narrow. Your only outlet's going from there, and that was only created because Oxford United had so much of the ball. But Gillingham were allowing Oxford United to have that much of the ball as well. We're talking about each player individually. I thought Jack Stevens didn't have much to do, but he made, I think, 2 really good saves in the game as well. So really impressed Jack Stevens. He'll be a bit disappointed he didn't get a clean sheet, and 2 of them, I thought, actually the second goal really unlucky because it was a really good initial save, but the rebound, nothing you could do really about it. And he'll be a little bit disappointed, but he definitely deserves a good rating because I thought he made some really good saves in the game. Sam Long, again, the defenders are going to be rated a little bit lower because they didn't have much to do and they conceded 2 goals, but I thought in moments in the game, I thought we defensively were fine. Other than the 2 probably sloppy goals he gave away. Cam Brannagan, 9.5 out of 10. Not a bad game for him. 4 penalties converted. But I thought he looked really, really solid in the game anyway. I don't think it was just penalties. Not easy to score 4 penalties in one game because the goalkeeper's seen you have to take 4 penalties in the game, so it wasn't easy at all. He converted all 4 of them. And I thought he had a really good game in midfield. I thought he was phenomenal today. And I think if Blackpool are looking at that and going, who scored for Oxford today? So Oxford had a good game. Oh, Brannagan. Brannagan scored 4. Brilliant. Marcus, so can we keep hold of Cameron Brannagan now? I really, really hope we can. We believe that contract, that sort of clause in his contract expired, so we'll have to take a pretty decent bid now. Marcus Brown, I thought, did well today. I don't think it was an unbelievable Marcus Brown before. I keep saying Marcus Brown. Marcus McGuane performance today. Of course, Herbie Kane will be back on Tuesday against Wigan, so I think if Herbie Kane comes back straight into the start, which I think he probably will, I think Marcus Brown, I'll say it again. Marcus McGuane, it comes out. I think it probably will be Marcus McGuane coming out of the side. We might sign someone. We're going to have to sign someone by Tuesday, so it'll be interesting to see what that side looks like and what that starting 11 and bench look like on Tuesday night. That could be interesting. Mark Sykes today, I thought, did really well, like I've already mentioned. Buddy Bodin got a goal and looked really, really good. Nathan Holland, quite a quiet game today. If I was going to pinpoint one player, I thought probably didn't impact the game as much as he would have wanted to. Probably going out of the game a little bit disappointed. It probably would be Nathan Holland because he's probably thinking before the game, if someone told him he was going to win 7-2, probably would have hoped to have got a goal or two in there. He didn't. A little bit quiet in the game. Matty Taylor, I thought it was a Matty Taylor performance today. Out a chance, took it. Really good header. Set piece is something that we just haven't been very good at the start of the season. We're looking to be much, much better. Scored a winner with it on against Sheffield Wednesday last weekend. Another free kick set piece today. Really, really impressed with that. So impressed with Matty Taylor's header as well. And we look much better offensively from set pieces. Not just offensively as well. So much, much happier in that sense. Again, and you can see there, it was a little bit... That's a 4-3-3. That's their intended structure. And like I just got to go back, that was their structure. A little bit different. Don't quite know the manager's going to be too pleased with that. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap it up there. What a game for Oxford United. What a performance. If you haven't left a like on the stream, please do that. We've got 13 watching right now. Please, can at least 2 of you hit that like button. Can we get it to 10 likes? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so watching. Can we hit 10 likes this episode of the podcast? We've got 14 people watching right now. Quite a few for a game on a weekend in League One. So please hit that like button. It's free and easy to do so. And we want to get to 10 likes. And you've got 13 watching right now. So why can't you hit that like button? Please do that. We're now on 9. Can we get to 10? If you haven't done it, please do that. It's that thumbs up button down below. If you haven't subscribed as well, please do that. Elijah says, see you later. Goodbye, Elijah. I'll take care. And sorry about today, mate. It wasn't a great performance for you. And it wasn't a good performance, and hopefully you do appoint a manager soon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe. And hopefully, like I said, we've got some really exciting content coming to the channel soon. Just hit 11 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. The stream today has been absolutely phenomenal. The interaction's been brilliant. 12, thank you so much. I would say see you next season, but that ain't happening, Elijah. Stay hope, mate. Keep that hope. It might be difficult to find at the moment, but can you keep some sort of hope? Elijah, you're always welcome on the channel. Very, very good for you today. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you to everyone that's come in today. The interaction's been brilliant, and I've been so pleased in what has been a brilliant game for Oxford United. They pumped 7 past Gillingham in Sky Bet League One. They stay in 6th place in League One. Like I said, I've been Jack. This has been the Young Fan Podcast. This has been a match reaction. Matthew has a roll on Tuesday. We hope to see some players coming through the door on Tuesday, or before Tuesday, should I say. It's going to have to be before Tuesday. The deadline day slams shut on 11 o'clock on Monday. There will be content, of course, before that as well, including a roundup of all the League One action tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care.